Welcome to the fastest daf in town. Today on Masechtas Chagigah daf Dalid. We are going to begin on Dalid Amud Aleph, about 6 lines from the top of the 2 dots. V'tumtum v'androgynous. So our Mishnah began by saying that everyone is obligated in the mitzvah of Re'iyah, and then it gave certain individuals who are exceptions, including a tumtum, an androgynous tumtum that we do not know whether they're a zach or nekeva, an androgynous which have both simani nekeva and as well as simani being a zachar. So Tanur Zachar, the fact that it says the word zachar, which is a male, is l'haitis anashim. That clearly excludes women from the chiyuv of being oilus re'iyah. Zachorcha is l'haitis tumta androgynous. The fact that it says the extra zachorcha is to exclude even a tumtum and androgynous. The fact that it says kol, which is a reboy, kol zachorcha l'rabos says a katanim. As we mentioned in our Mishnah, only very small children that either can't walk, can't go on the parents' shoulders, those individuals are pater. However, otherwise they're chayiv. So Amar, first of all, zachor l'haitis anashim. You're telling me we need a pasuk to exclude women. Halom likra michni mitzvah saseish man gramahu. We know this is a positive mitzvah, which is bound by time, and we know the famous Mishnah Masechtas Kedusha Daf Chav Tes that b'chol mitzvah saseish man gram nashim paturos. That we learn that any mitzvah which is time bound, women are pater from doing that, assuming it's a positive mitzvah. So we already know that they're going to be pater. You don't need a pasuk. The Gemara says hitzruch. You would think, just like we made as we talked about on yesterday's daf, we make connections between going up in the oilus re'iyah to hakel, namely someone who is a medarmin or shemeya, or vice versa. So you would think also when it comes to women, on the opposite side, women, as we know, the pasuk says, are mechuyev in hakel. So malohol nashim chayavos afkan nashim chayavos. You would think that in fact women are going to be chayiv just like they're chayiv in hakel. Kamashmalon. So that's why we need a pasuk to say no, that's not the case. Even though you would maybe think that they should be chayiv because they're chayiv in hakel, they're pater from re'iyah. Amar zachorcha haitzi tuntum v'androgynous. Now bishlam androgynous, the person who has both of these attributes. So itzrach sak netamina hoyav isli tzad zachrus. Since on some level he's, let's say, half or partially male, l'chayiv. Do you think maybe that's why she be chayiv? Kamash mulan debiri b'fnei atzmahu. This is considered to be like a different creation. This is a different person. It's not considered to be a zachar at all. El tumtum sfeikahu. So when it comes to a tumtum, we don't know if a person's male or female. So mi itzrach krel muti sfeika. Why do you need a pasuk to exclude a doubt? So Rabbi, we're talking about kishabeitz of mibuchutz. In the situation where his beitzim are on the outside, El, says Rashi, shagid tamoin. His actual male member is hidden. The havadi zachahu. We know that he's a male. Hilka chitzrach kralum yute. That's why we need a pasuk to exclude. The fact that he has beitzim, his testicles, but the reality is his male member is on the inside. So therefore you would need to exclude him. Omar. But you're right. Someone who's just a pashut suffix, then there's no need for a pasuk. So Omar. But we learned chutz mecheshad v'katan. What do you mean? We already learned that a katan is pater. So how can you say that we have a pasuk v'koyels l'rabbis? So Rabbi Lukasha, kam b'katan shgil chinuch, kam b'katan shlegil chinuch. So if you have a child who has not reached the age of chinuch, so he's pater. A child who's reached the age of chinuch, then he is chayiv. So 1 second, a katan shegil chinuch, the rabbanan who? How can you tell me it's a pasuk? It's only din the rabbanan. A child who's still a child, who's not mechuyev in mitzvahs. So you can't say there's a pasuk to say that he's mechuyev in a mitzvah. So the Gemara says enachinami. The truth is that's just an asmachta from the pasuk, but the word kol cannot really be coming to include a katan, even though we're talking about a katan who reaches the age of chinuch. So why do you need this pasuk of koil? So what's it coming to include? So crows lomayasa look at acher. The sign we learn acherim oimrim hamakabit, someone who's engaged in scraping. Rashi says comment says biyada soyas kalavim. He scrapes off waste matter of dogs, which is obviously something which is a repulsive odor, or as Rashi says, he's l'sakim hen oidos. He fixes up hides. Back in the Gemara, Amatzarif Nechaisha, someone who's engaged in copper work, a coppersmith, or a borsini. So borsini, these people who are tanners. So because of the putrid odor, Patur min ariyah. Mishum shenemer kol zechorcha kol mishiach lalos im kol zechorcha yatzeil shin ruyois ruyin lalos im kol zechorcha. Very interesting. Because of their odor, because they smell so badly, they actually are not able to associate with other people. With their own, they may not even realize that they have this putrid odor on themselves. However, because of kol, you need to be together. Everyone should be able to travel together. And if it's not shaykh for them to travel together because of their odor, then they're potter. Question 11. Man nilman min hakosu be'inyan re'iyah kol zechorcha. So, as we said, these individuals are potter, she'ein ruin l'alois in kol zechorcha. Weiter. Nashim v'avadim she'enim mishachrarim. So we said that these people are also potter. Women, as we already explained, you would have a halamid to be chayev because of hakel, and slaves that are not free. Now, Bishul v'nashim can amr. We said that. L'avadim and how do we know slaves? So Rav Huna Amar Kra, this was a question that was before, but it's brought down here b'ferish the Gemara. It says El Panei Adain Hashem Misheinu El Adan Echad, only someone who has one master. Yatzazeh Sheishul Adan Acher. Since he has another Adain, so therefore you cannot fulfill this aspect of this mitzvah. So Hol Wamali Kra Michdi Kol Mitzvah Sheisha Chayeves Ba Eved Chayev Ba Kol Mitzvah She'ena Isha Chayeves Ba Ein Ha'eved Chayev Ba. Women have the same din as this Eved. So therefore, it doesn't make sense. Why would you think that this person is going to be mechuyev in mitzvos and being chayev and being oil re'iyah? We already know women are potter, so he should also be potter. The Gemara meisha. We have this Gezer Shava. So Rabbi lo nisracha ela mish chetziv Eved v'chetziv ben chayrin. It's coming to tell you certainly someone who's a slave is potter, but even if you're half slave. So even that person is potter. It says they're not completely free. So the chiddush is that not only is he's not just an eved. If he was totally a slave, he would be an eved. But this individual who is half and half, this also is a chisaron as well, and therefore he is potter. Again, as we saw, Beis Hillel agreed to Beis Shammai that it's necessary for him to actually be freed, that Beis Hillel will pressure the Adain to have him sold. So someone who can't walk, someone who's blind, someone who's sick, someone who's elderly, these individuals also are potter from Riyah. Tanaban. It says regolim, like sholosh regolim, so you're supposed to walk. So it's prat labali kabin. It comes to exclude someone who has a prosthetic. Someone who's an amputee. Davar acher regolim prat l'chiger l'chayil l'suma l'zakin she'enu yachol l'alus baragloi. It's coming to exclude all these people. Someone who's lame, someone who's sick, someone who's blind. Because how are you able to walk if you're blind, right? You need assistance. Or zakin, someone who's old, or someone who can't go by themselves. The she'enu yachol l'alus baragloi, someone who can't go on their own feet. What's that coming to include? That's seemingly all these other categories. Must be coming to include something else. So Amar Rava Lasui, it's coming to even include, as we continue to Daladam and Beis, someone who is mefanki, someone who is very finicky. As Rashi says, Shein hoichem below menoil, because you don't go, you cannot go without shoes. The ein adam nichnas lahar bayis b'menalo. You cannot go into the har bayis with shoes. But this person has the inability to walk barefoot. So it has to be someone who's able to walk without shoes. So if this person can't go up without shoes, so near to go to Harabayas barefoot, then he's going to be potter. Fine. Question 12. Minolan the summa potter min re'iyah. How do we know someone who's blind is potter from re'iyah? So one answer we just said, because it says regolim, which excludes mishasach mishano isacherm levan miraglov uvinehem suma. So someone who needs other assistance. That's one answer to that. Tana. Ha'aril v'hatame, someone who is an aril, says Rashi, Yisrael shemeso acham achmas mila. It's not that he deliberately didn't have bris milah. He can't because he knows he's going to die because his brothers have had the procedure and died. So therefore he's an aril. A tame is paturim min re'iyah. These individuals are not oil regal. Now, the whole purpose of appearing there is to bring karbanos. If it's an individual that's not able to bring karbanos, so there's really not much of a purpose of him going, therefore he's potter. So Tame makes sense. What's the problem with someone who's an oral? Why can't he go? So Hamani Rabbi Kivahi, that what? The Marbi that he included oral ketame. He said that an oral has the same din as someone who's tame, therefore he's not oil. Regal. The sign Rabbi Kiva Omer ish ish Rabba says oral. So let's look at Rashi. This double lashon of ish ish mezer aron behu tsaru azab. Rabba says oral shehu ketame. He has the same din as someone who's tame. Shel yoichel truma im koyenhu. That he's not allowed to eat if he is a kohen. So this is actually a little bit tricky. Because I remember on my Masechta Bechina, long time ago, from Rabbi Kibar, I actually got this half wrong, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So there's a couple questions over here. First of all, question 7. Lama yesh miyat l'mayat tumtum re'iyah mi itzach krel mutis sveka. So I wrote the beitzar on the outside, certainly is the zachar, but his gid is on the inside, so he's potter. Question 8, and this is where I got, question 8, 9, I got half wrong. Ta'im ish tame chayib olos re'iyah. Is he obligated? And the answer is no. Someone who's tame is not. How about an oral? Is he chayib? So I wrote no, but the truth is it's a machlokus because this gemara, and it's a little, you have to read through it. But again, when you have a test on an entire masachta, you may not necessarily recall this. But this gemara is saying Hamani Rabbi Kiva. This is only like the sheet of Rabbi Kiva, which means it's really a machlokas. So when it comes to tamei, definitely potter. Someone who's an oral is machlokas. Weiter. Tanaban. Tamei potter min re'iyah. So someone who's tamei, everyone holds his potter from either chsiv v'asa shama ve'abesim shama. Kol yishne b'viyah yishne b'hava. The kol she'enu b'viyah enu b'hava. This individual can't bring karbanos, so therefore he's not obligated, therefore, to come to be oil regal. So Rabbi Yochanan ben Dahavoyomer Mishum Rabbi Huda Suma Bachas Me'ena Patim Re'iyah, and this we also had previously on the beginning of the Masechta. Someone who's blind in one eye also doesn't go, is not oil regal. Shnemer Yura Yura Kader Shebal Lirois Kach Bali Rois Ma Bal Rois Mishtei Einav Av Lirois Mishtei Einav. So when Hashem sees us, it's completely, Hashem doesn't just look at us partially. Hashem completely devotes his focus on us, so too, that's how it has to be with us, and therefore it has to be someone with two eyes. Okay. So on this, this is the second answer, therefore this is how we know a summa is part from Re'iyah. So, because it's even someone who's blind in one eye. But Yura Yuraya is Kederach Shebal Lirois B'shtei Einav Kach Bal Lirois B'shtei Einav. So therefore, certainly someone if someone can't see at all, is definitely going to be potter based on this passage. That was question 12. Rav Huna Kimato Haikra Yura Bach used to cry. Omer Ebed Sharaba Matzapel Liroisai. You have someone that really wants to see his master. He wants to go. Yisrachik Mimenu. The master distances himself from him and says, You have to come. Ki Sabalirois Ponai. Mi Bikesh Zois. Miyadchem Ramos Chatzera. Who is this person who is basically trampling on my courtyard? So again, this pasuk is alluding to the fact that Hashem doesn't necessarily want everyone to come up, especially if it's an individual that's not coming with the right intentions. Rav Huna Kimato Haikra Bechi used to cry V'zavachta Shlamim. You sacrifice offerings V'yochalta Sham. So Eved Sharabah Matzapel Echel Al Shulchanoi. The Eved wants to eat at the table of his master. Yisrachik mimenu. He sometimes pushes him away. Sometimes Hashem says, I don't want these karbanos. Rabbi Lezer Kimato Haikra Bech, he used to cry at this pasuk. That Yosef's brothers were not able to respond to him when he revealed himself because they were frightened. When it comes to the rebuke of Basav Adam. This is how they react. You can't answer. So Tochacha Shel Kodesh Baruch Hu Al Achas Kama V'Kama. When it comes to the rebuke of Hashem, all the more so. So in this, the Beis Halevi asked the question, what do you mean? Where do we find that Yosef gave Tochacha? He gave rebuke. All he did was ask one simple question. He said, Ha'od Avichai, is my father still alive? So what exactly was the rebuke? So the way that it's explained is that what Yosef was saying was, you may have felt some rationalization to sell me, but did you ever take account the sensitivity of our father, that the pain and suffering that you caused him? So you may have all the right calculations, but the truth is you forgot about one important detail, and that was the rebuke. And they couldn't answer it because they realized that they were short-sighted in that one area. And certainly when it comes to in our lives, we rationalize and justify what we do, and therefore Hashem's going to end up saying, well, did you really think it all through? Did you really consider this? Like Ha'od Avichai, maybe there's one small, not such small detail that you didn't think about, and therefore you were wrong in your calculations, and we're not going to have an answer. Rabbi Eliezer Kimati l'Haikra Bachi used to cry when he got to the pasuk V'yirmeh Shmuel Shaul. That Shmuel said to the king, Lama hergiztani l'ha'alos oisi. He said, what is the reason that you're coming up toward me? On this, Uma Shmuel Hatzadik Kayim Misyare. Minadin, so Shmuel, he was scared. He was afraid he was going to get punished. So Anu Achas Kama Kama. So we certainly have what to be afraid of. So Shmuel Mai, what was that whole thing? The pasuk says over there at the end of Shmuel Aleph, Timer Isha El Shaul, that the woman said to the king, Elokim Isa Oilim, that God I've seen coming up. Oilim Trei Mashma. It sounds like two people are coming up. So this is referring to the situation where he was brought back from the dead. So Chad Shmuel v'idach de'azol Shmuel v'aisel Moshe b'hadei. That actually Shmuel didn't just come up himself from the dead, but also Moshe came as well. Armalei dilma chas v'shel medina misva'ina. Maybe he's asking to judge me. So kum b'hadei, please come up with me, Moshe. Doleka milsa de kasavte b'reisa dole kiyamte. There's nothing that's not written in the Torah that was not fulfilled. So therefore, not only did he go up, but also Moshe Rabbeinu as well. See Rashi, Tochacha, fine. Rav Ami ki mati l'haikra bach used to cry, Yitin ba'afar pihu ula yesh tikva. So in the third parak of Eicha, he says that we'll put earth into our mouths. Maybe we will have hope. Maybe we'll be answered. Maybe things will be okay. Omer kuli hai ulai. We do so much and still there's only a chance. So it's devastating. Rav Ami ki mati l'haikra bach used to cry. The pasuk says, Bikshu tzadik, bikshu anava. A person seeks out righteousness and humility. Ulai tisteru b'yoyim af Hashem. Maybe they'll hide you in the day that Hashem is angry. So Omer kuli hai ulai, that you do so much, you're seeking out tzedek and anava, and still there's no guarantees. Rabbi Asi kimatil haikra bach used to cry, sinura, those who hate evil, v'yoyvi toiv, they love good, that sigu b'shar mishpat, and they establish the gates of justice. Ulai Yechanan Hashem Elokei Savaka. Skuli Hai Ulai. Again, only then maybe Hashem is going to be gracious. Rav Yosef Kimato Haikra Bach used to cry, V'yesh netzapa b'li mishpat. There's sometimes a person will be swept away from this world without proper justice. So Amar mi'i could yos below zmane. Is it possible that a person could even be taken away before the time that it was already predestined that they were supposed to die? Whereas it's yes, that could happen. That Rabbi Barabaya was constantly in the presence of the Malach HaMaves. He said to his messenger, Zil Aisile Miriam, go to this woman Miriam, and she's Megadla Sayer. She's a hairdresser. Nasiya. Also, Isili Miriam Megadla Dardiki. So she ended up instead getting a different Miriam, who her profession was, she was a child's nurse. So Amalei Ana Miriam Megadla Sayer Nasiya Amrilach. I told you that you were supposed to get the other woman. You obviously got the wrong one. You shouldn't have killed her. So Amalei says, Oihachi Ahadre. Since I took the wrong woman, I'll bring her back to life. Amalei no. Hoyel, since via Sisil Lahavi Liminyana. Since you already brought her to me, let her be included already in my count. So Ella Hechi Yichaltala. So in that case, how should I, what should I do? So Havi Nikita Mitara Biyade, she had a shovel in her hand. The Havi Kasharga, and he was using the shovel to heat, as we continue to Haman Aleph, Umachre Tenura, and to sweep up an oven. Says Rashi, Mechabedes as a tanur. So Shekalta, so they took it, the Anchasa Agaba, and she placed it by her, the Karaka Kedacha, and it was on her leg, and she burnt herself, the Isra Mazle Viasisai. And because her mazel was down at that moment, that was when he was able to capture. So when a person's mazel is not going well, that's when they're at a vulnerable point and they can be taken away. Then they really have reshus to do such a thing, to be able to take this person before their time. So the pasuk says that this could happen, that the person could be taken not at the right time. So which is mashma that it has to be at their generation, at their time. So Omer, so he said, Darinu Huana, that I am in charge, the Adamo Darna, and I'll hold on to her until Darna comes, who is in charge of the Mesim. The Hader Meshlimnale Laduma. And when Duma rather will I'll hand her over at that point to Duma. And we're gonna stop there. Let's see. Amalei Sof Shaneha Mayavadata. But what are you gonna do with those years? Because she was supposed to live extra years. So we have extra years. So I'ika Samarabanan Lamaver Bemile Masifnalahu Lay. So Vahavi Chalufa. So he'll end up having her years instead if we're dealing with a Sumer Rabban, the young Talmud Chacham, who, as Rashi says, is Mavrel Midaisav, the one who is forgiving and respectful. So that's a person that I will give those years to. We're going to stop there. Then the Maharsha actually says that David hints to this in Tehillim when we say Lo HaMesim Yihaluka V'lo Kol Yordi Duma. What does Duma refer to in that pasuk when we say in Hallel? That needless to say, Mesim floating around before their time can't praise Hashem. But even the Mesim who are given over to Duma can't praise Hashem. So that's what it says. That Lo HaMesim, a mace cannot be praise Hashem, and also V'lo Kol Yordi Duma, those who were given over to Duma, which again is this Malach who's in charge of the of the Mason. Okay, let's see. Maybe another question here. Okay, nothing there. TA 22. Two answers. Beautiful question. So one you would think is Dover Pashut, that whether you're can be Olo Ragel. But the second answer is there's an Isser Truma, which is only found in Rashi. Okay. Question TB 23. Ha'im Tami Chaya B'Re'iyah. So someone who is Tami, we established, is Pata from Re'iyah. Umaha Mokar B'Zeh. Then the Mokar is, again, V'Havesim Shama, that those who go to the Mikdash, they bring the Karbanos. Mashma. Someone not, then they don't have a chiyuv to go either. Vasa Shama, Havevesim Shama, Leisa Babiyah, Leisa V'Havaha. Adkan.